Some guy named Duskborn left a question here. Genuinely curious about something here. If you say you hate everyone, I'm assuming that's everyone in the world. Why is this issue important to you? I completely agree with you that Israel is a morally corrupt nation and basically are Jewish Nazis, but I don't quite understand where your passion comes from. It's complicated. I'm not an anti-Semite in the sense that I hate them because of their blood. Because I don't. It's such a fucking... I had a Jewish friend. That's every fucking, like, yeah, I had a Jewish friend. One of my best friends when I was a teenager was a Jewish guy. His mother talked to me once, and she said, I know that if my son hangs out with you, he's going to get into trouble. But I know my son, and my son's going to get into trouble anyway. And I know that if my son's hanging out with you, you'll make sure he comes home. She respected me. That was one of the nicest things anybody ever said to me. There was a moment in time when I spent a couple of months living in their basement. She made me brisket. It was fucking delicious. She made me mac and cheese. I hated mac and cheese. But she made me mac and cheese and it was fucking delicious. I helped her out with her cleaning jobs. She worked jobs cleaning houses as a bonded, trustworthy woman. Like, you could have a house filled with fucking Tiffany jewelry and you could leave a fucking wallet full of $100 bills on the fucking bedside table, but she was bonded and she could be trusted not to fucking steal anything from you. She cleaned the place. I worked with her, helped her out. She paid me some cash to help me get on my feet. It's not that I hate the fucking people because of their bloodline. Like you said, Israel is a morally corrupt nation. They're basically Jewish Nazis. Why do I feel passionate about genocide? Did you watch my other videos where I talked about my military history? About how I joined the infantry when I was, I can't remember right now, was I 15, 16, 17? I think it was 16 when I joined. I did my basic training. I did my QL3 infantry trade. I was supposed to go to Bosnia with the United Nations to fight ethnic cleansing. I was fucking ready to go. 4-time provincial champion, Boy Scout. Now I'm in the fucking infantry, fucking hell on wheels with a fucking assault rifle. They're gonna fucking ship me over to fucking Bosnia to prevent genocide, to stop Slobodan Milosevic. And I was ready to go. And the only reason I didn't go is because I got in a fucking car accident where I hit black ice. I spun out, hit a fucking Buick head on in my little Chevette, bounced off, flew into the fucking woods, smashed into a tree, rear bumper first, and I flew back and they found me in the trunk of my own fucking car. All my ribs broken, lung collapsed, liver, kidney bruised, fucking that. If I wasn't a fucking, like, Olympic level athlete, I would have died in that car. The doctor fucking told my parents that, and they couldn't believe that I was alive. That's the only reason that I didn't go to Yugoslavia, which is now called Bosnia. I mean, I was going to go over there to fight Slobodan Milosevic and prevent him from fucking committing genocide. Why am I passionate about it? Because they're fucking committing genocide. What the fuck? But beyond that, you know what? Beyond that is that the Jews in Israel, I need to stop saying Jews because it's a really fucked up thing. Is it a religion? Is it a bloodline? I don't hate people because of their fucking blood. When I was living in Australia, my first IT job, I was like building image databases for shipping companies. where they would take paper documents. There were a bunch of middle-aged women, most of them were overweight, and they would sit there and scan a document and type, scan a document, type, scan a document, and type. And I was like building CD databases and stuff with indexing and stuff using proprietary software that I didn't write. I jumped from that to a job working for a Zionist. And it was horrible. I developed an understanding of Zionists while I worked there. I was the only non-Jew. There were two non-Jews in that place. Me and this blonde guy who was like a junior partner to the Zionists that owned the place. He had married a woman that he didn't love and wasn't attracted to because her father was rich and she was a fucking Zionist too. So he chose her, and her father bought him provided him with this building and all this money to launch his business. And his big passion was animation, making video games and shit. They were all animators. This blonde guy that was like the junior partner, he was like treated with contempt. And he was like a graphics designer kind of guy. And I was a tech guy who could do web stuff. You could do database, server side, client side, write code to run in the browser, do the HTML, do the style, everything perfect, do the database on the back end, do the server side code, all that sort of shit. They were working for the largest promotions company in all of Australia, and the thing was a clusterfuck fucking mess. This Jewish guy who didn't know anything about fucking code really had hired a string of people who quit and quit and quit and quit. And then I come in, and for me, this is the first piece in my portfolio. I want this to be a success story. And I want people to say good things about me. This is the shining star of my first portfolio piece. And man, all the guys in there, I'd be sitting there working by myself, doing my thing, immersed in the code. And there's all these fucking animators, and they're all Zionists, and they're all fucking racist Jews. And when there was animation work, they would work. And then when there wasn't animation work, this guy would help them to defraud the Australian government so that they could rip off the welfare system. And they would hang out there in the same place that they went to work every day, but they'd sit around and play video games. They'd play Quake 3. We'd have Quake 3 tournaments. Sometimes I would play with them. I'd be playing Quake 3 and killing my boss. Killing my boss over and over and over again. I was the number one Quake 3 player because I was a fucking Quake Mega TF champion. Played in the Team Pro League back in the 90s. I was being exploited. I had a baby and a fucking Selena and my daughter. You know, I had to provide for them. They couldn't provide for themselves. Would have fucking starved to death if it wasn't for me. And it was horrible. They would sit there and talk about how they wish they could fuck these hot, genteel women. But if they did, their fucking family would disown them. They'd be kicked out of their community. None of their fucking friends would talk to them anymore. They talk about how they wish they could fuck women from our blood, but they can't. And it was just so fucking like, fuck you, you fucking racist piece of shit. You talk about me like I'm some fucking disgusting, like all the fucking worst things you see in the movies about white women in the south of the United States. They have sex with a black man consensually, and then he's accused of rape, and they fucking, yeah, that's what they're like. And I'm sitting there, I gotta listen to this shit. I gotta make this project a success, because this is my portfolio piece, but I fucking hate you fucking people. I was working late, and I heard the owner of the company and his wife, and they're talking about how they can funnel more money into Israel to fund this ongoing genocide, all these war crimes, how they can defraud the Australian government to avoid paying tariffs and duties and taxes and whatever, And I could hear them. And I'm just like, I can't be a part of this. They're committing genocide, and I'm helping them. I have to get the fuck out of here. And I applied for other jobs. I got the project finished. I finished it. And I got another job. This fucking Israeli fucking Zionist piece of shit found out I got another job. He contacted all of his clients to tell them I was an intellectual property thief. He contacted the people that were going to give me a job and told them I was an intellectual property thief. He told them that I was going to be deported, and he was calling the authorities. And I went to my new job and I found out that he had said this stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck? And this guy's like, are you going to sue him? I'm like, I can't afford to be suing people. I got a fucking baby and a fucking common law wife, and I need to fucking take care of them. I just want to progress my career. I don't want to be dragged into this shit. Well, if you don't want to sue him, that makes me think you did it. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. Fuck your job. I'll find someone else to work for. If that's really how you fucking think, then fuck you. And I left. And I went directly over to the fucking largest promotional company in Australia. And I walked in the fucking doors, and I talked to the receptionist, and I said, I'd like to speak to the owner of the company. And she said, who are you? I said, my name's Ian Foote. I wrote the code that runs your organization. And she said, just hold on a minute. Yes, he'd like to speak to you. I go upstairs into his fucking vast office with the power fucking desk and the wood, and he's wearing the suit, book, and yeah, I had that. And I talked to him. I said, listen, I've been told that all this stuff about I'm an intellectual property thief. I said, the reality of it is, I didn't like working for that guy. He was ripping me off. And I wanted to finish this project because this is the first piece of my portfolio. I didn't steal intellectual property from you. I sent work home to myself, and I worked evenings and weekends from my home office to get this fucking thing finished as fast as I could so I wouldn't have to work for him anymore. And this guy, the owner of this company, he said that Sion Rosenblum, this fucking Zionist piece of shit, he came in there and ranting about how I had stolen things, and he was like crazed. And the people at the promotions factory didn't understand what he was ranting about. But he's glad he came and talked to me. He said, if you wrote this and you're leaving, who's going to maintain my code? And I said, well, I don't know. I guess Sion will hire someone else. I'm the fourth person that he hired. It was a spaghetti code mess of crap when I came in, and I fixed it for you, and it works. But he's probably going to hire some new guy to maintain it. And the owner of the promotions factory said to me, do you want a job? And I said, yes. And he said, how much money do you want? And I said, I want 3 times as much as I was making before. And he said, let's go do the paperwork. By having the fucking balls to fucking walk in boldly and say this is the fucking truth and speak truth to power, I destroyed that Zionist piece of shit. He lost his company. He lost his reputation. He lost his company. He lost everything. He lost his contract. I have a personal grudge with these people because they made me a participant in the genocide that they are committing. I have to make it right. So that, I guess that's where my passion comes from. I don't want them tried, convicted, and executed for war crimes. I want them hunted to the ends of the earth. All those Nazi fucks that fled to Brazil, that thought they were the fucking master race with the pure blood, and they fled to Brazil and people hunted them. I want that to happen to the Israelis, because they're no fucking different. They're genocidal monsters. They think they're the fucking pure-blooded people of fucking God. They want to fucking purge us and fill the world with their blood. And maybe they'll keep some of us around as beasts of fucking burden. And they made me a fucking participant in that.